Hi everyone, a lot of you must be reading through these headlines as we explore what is happening in the Eastern European side of the world. So the most prominent, this video is a little small explanation about what is all going on as things stand on the afternoon of February 15 in Eastern Europe. This is one of the most important updates. It is also being called as the conflict that can change the face of world politics, the world geopolitics. So what are the updates as things stand right now? There have been reports that the Russian forces are in Kiev, which is the capital city of Ukraine, and Ukrainian country or their military and their president have announced that they are expecting a Russian tank attack. Also, one of the major cities of Ukraine, that is Chernobyl, which is directly in the middle of the border from Belarus to the capital city of Kiev, has now been captured by the Russian forces. It has been confirmed by Ukrainian officials that Russian forces have seized control of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, and as per their reports, they have also held hostage. So these are the big updates coming from February 25th afternoon when you are watching this video. As I am narrating the story, this is the updates that we have till now. Now, what all do we need to know as students and people in India? There is a lot of noise around it, but for us, the basic ground rules are something that we need to be aware of. As students of aspiring lawyers or lawyers of the future, we need to know certain nuances of international law. A lot of things are being said in the newspaper. You all must have seen that how Russia has violated international law. So what is this international law that they have violated? There have been calls, all of you must have seen through memes about NATO not actually assisting. So what is NATO's obligation? Are they responsible? Do they need to help Ukraine? What is the situation? Why are different countries being called into question? So all of that. In relation, there have been, as these pictures on your screen narrate, these are pictures on the left hand side from the city of Kiev itself. It is believed that a Russian aircraft was shot down. There is also reports that a Ukrainian. Nevertheless, these are horrendous sights for anyone who sees them live. Okay. And on the right hand side is people trying to run away from the capital city of Kiev. You can see this large car park. Indian government is also trying to evacuate individuals who are stuck in Ukraine during this crisis. So this video is about the Russia-Ukraine conflict, what it is about, what all do we need to know about it. So as per reports, that is February 24, 2022, the Russian forces have entered into the Ukrainian country from three sides. One is on the right, that is the province of Luhansk. Okay. Then on the south from the region of Crimea, and on the north from Belarus. This is the capital city of Kiev, and on the left here, the red dots are where the city and Ukrainian air defense systems are located. Russia has struck them with cruise missiles to disable the anti-aircraft defense systems of Ukraine. So these red dots, for us, the major reason for the conflict has been the political shift of Ukraine towards the western side of the countries, or towards its west, which is the NATO allies. Russia had been seeking confirmation that Ukraine will not become a member of NATO, but that demand has not been paid heed into, and that result, yesterday morning, Vladimir Putin announced that he will be launching a limited military operation. That is the term that was used by Vladimir Putin at 6 a.m. Moscow time when he gave a statement to the public of Russia that why a limited military operation is going to take place in Ukraine. So for us as students, one of the major important things is that Ukraine is not only all about Ukrainian. A large majority of the country's population also relates itself with the Russian language. And this is indicated in this map that you see on the screen. The provinces on the extreme right of the country have a larger population share of Russian ethnicity. That is Luhansk, Donetsk, and Crimea. All three of them have above 50% Russian speaking population, and this is as per the 2001 census. 21 years have passed since then. Okay, then as we moved westwards of Ukraine, the percentage of population goes down for people who speak, but still a significant amount of minority of Ukraine speak Russian or relate to Russian language. And that is why Vladimir Putin's statement that Ukraine is not anything but little Russia. His claim that this is not an independent country but little Russia. Another term that was used by Vladimir Putin was that Ukraine was a creation of Vladimir Lenin, and that this was done by the Bolshevik party which did the Russian Revolution of 1918. That only in 1918 were they actually created as a separate state, and the fall of Soviet Union was the one that led to a Ukrainian nationalistic freedom. Just like other 15 countries of Soviet Union, Ukraine also became independent since then, but it is Vladimir Putin's opinion that they are nothing but always been part of the Russian Empire or Russia collectively. So this is one of the reasons why they have pushed into. Another reason on this map becomes significant is Luhansk and Donetsk. These two provinces have been recognized as separate nations by Vladimir Putin on February 23rd of this year. That is when it was announced by him that he is recognizing these two as independent countries. Okay. Now this region, okay, of is known as Donbass. Okay, but only half of this region is controlled by the Russian separatists or the government of Donetsk and Luhansk. Russia has recognized this entire territory as the part of independent nations. So this is where the first reason for conflict began, that this is a direct attack on sovereignty of another nation, that is Ukraine. Ukraine recognizes this as its inalienable part, and Russia has moved into their territory, recognizing territory of them as independent country of someone else, which is not recognized by anyone. Donetsk and Luhansk, both of them are not recognized by anyone. But what is recognition? Okay. So in that regard, the history of this conflict dates back to the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union came into being from 1917 to 1991. Soviet Union or United Soviet Socialist Republics was a collective of 15 countries, as you see on the map right now. It extended from this border, which included Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Moldova, and on the Central Asian part, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, including all of these countries with the capital of Moscow. But in 1991, the Soviet Union disintegrated into 15 separate nations. But Ukraine is today the last frontier where influence of Russia remains in European side. Every other country except for Belarus and Ukraine are in some way or the other related to Western countries, okay? Which is one of the reasons why this conflict has come into being. Now, the reason why it is being called that Russia has violated international law is the article 2.4. That is the clause of use of force. What is use of force? Under Article 2, which is the UN Charter, all the world countries today are signatory and member of United Nations. Under them, they all agreed that all members shall refrain in their international relations from threat or use of force against territorial integrity or political independence of any state. So the attack of Russia into Ukraine is a violation of their sovereignty. Okay, is a use of force or in any other manner inconsistent with the purposes of United Nations. Purpose of United Nations is world peace. And that is what is being alleged has been violated by Russia with an invasion into Ukraine. So Article 2, Clause 4 of the UN Charter is something that has been violated by Russia. Now, Russia recognized Luhansk and Donetsk as independent nations. Now, one of the key reasons for a country to be recognized as country is known as the principle of recognition of state. This is given under Article 1 of the Montevideo Convention. It has 4 requirements. For someone to claim this land is a country, has to have 4 things: a permanent population, a defined territory, a government, and a capacity to enter into relation with other states. Right now, Donetsk and Luhansk did not have a defined territory. They do not control their territory. They do not have capacity to enter into relation. This clause was changed by Russia when they recognized it on February 23rd, when they became to be officially recognized as states. So now, and they claim to have a territory. Some part of it is with them. Russia is assisting them with taking over the other side of the territory. So with this, they can claim to be proper states, Donetsk and Luhansk, both of them. So Article 1 of the Montevideo Convention becomes important. And last is the NATO. The NATO has announced that it will not fight for Ukraine. These are the member states, and you can see this is Ukraine, and on the border of Ukraine is all the NATO countries. NATO believes attack on one is an attack on all, which is Article 5 of its Washington Treaty signed in 1949. What does it state? The parties agree that an armed attack against one or more of them in Europe or North America shall be construed or considered an attack against them all. Because Ukraine is not a member of NATO, NATO will not fight against Russia, but only impose sanctions. This was confirmed by NATO yesterday in a press conference. We will not put boots on the ground because it can lead to further escalation of conflict. This is the main reason why NATO is not coming to assistance to Ukraine right now. And last night, late in the night, our Prime Minister also spoke with Vladimir Putin. He called that his long-standing conviction that differences between Russia and NATO can only be resolved through honest and sincere dialogue, and he called for immediate cessation of violence, that violence should be ended. Today in the evening, that is in late hours, there will be a special meeting of the Security Council where India is a member. So their vote right now is for calling of cessation of violence in the statement of the Prime Minister, and he also asked for safe exit and return of all Indian citizens from Ukraine. So these are major demands that have been placed by our Prime Minister on Vladimir Putin. Okay, so the Security Council will meet at February 25 on late evening today. They are calling for condemnation and asking Russia to stop. Russia has a veto, that is a negative vote on this. If they believe that it is against them, they can say no and the resolution will fail. So the vote becomes an important thing for how things will progress. But in the meantime, sanctions have been announced by United Kingdom, US and European Union member states. What are these sanctions? They are purely economic in nature, that you cannot trade, you will not be able to access. United Kingdom has announced that you cannot use our airspace, Russian flights cannot move through that. So those are economic limitations placed on Russia. But Russia, unlike majority of the developing countries, has a trade surplus. They have surplus of resources, they have surplus of foreign exchange. They are the 4th largest country with foreign exchange reserve. So right now, there will not be any economic damage that they can foresee for themselves. Okay, so these are the updates as of now. With this, we conclude this update. We'll be back tomorrow based on what more updates this crisis unfolds. But if you are a student who needs assistance for your current affairs, you have to look no further and prepare with us. That is Let's Crack CLAT, a new batch for CLAT 2023 aspirants that begins on February 25th. A mighty legal crash course for all state law entrance examinations, which begins on February 23rd. And rank booster for CLAT 2022 aspirants, a crash course to cover your entire syllabus in 3 months for law entrance examinations. In all these courses, you can use the code KUSHGK to subscribe, and I will be teaching you current affairs. Please do remember that right now, if you take a subscription of 3 months, you will get 1 month free, and taking a subscription of 9 months, you will get 2 months free. So do use the code and take a 10% discount on your subscription. And on Sunday, we are competing a CLAT Combat. If you are interested in live quiz, you can prepare for that. On that note, If you want to get access to this PPT that you saw on your screen, you can go to bit.ly/KUSSGKnotes or unacademy.com.community/YGRJJZ. If you want to connect with me, you can reach out to me on my Telegram channel. The link is in the description box. If you like this analysis of the Ukraine-Russia conflict, do give this video a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, do subscribe. See you all in the next update. We hope the conflict succeeds and we will provide you with all the updates. Until then, signing off, this is Kushagra Goyal from Unacademy.